everybody. Welcome to the All American Otaku Show. Today's episode is what we do every year because anime tastes has changed, as well as what animes that we truly like and what truly go there. Something could be a top 10 in that one year and out of it, or from 10 to 1, or 1 to 6, or what have you. So every year I do a top 10 anime and manga. I'm going to do the top 10 anime of my favorite anime, and Mr. Pat, our manga expert, is going to be his top 10 manga. The first, now here we go, let's get started into it. The first anime I'm going to talk to you about in my top 10 is number 10, Apothecary Diaries. I really enjoyed the idea of Chinese politics, as well as the idea of mystery of medicine, as well as navigating the old ancient Chinese court, as well as the idea of concubines, as well as the idea of courtesans, and how what was truly like to live in that time. The idea of rebellion, of the idea who is the main male character. Is he just a eunuch, or is he something more? I'm not going to tell you what it is. Or the idea of navigating from being a apothecary to being captured to working in the palace, working at the laundry, then working, becoming a lady in waiting, and then finding out her freckles, and she puts makeup on to make more ugly to make her safe for where she works, as well as figuring out the mysteries of what's poisoning and what is really truly fixing these people, as well as trying to figure navigate and trying to survive in this world. This leads on to my, speaking of science, leads into my number 9 anime, Dr. Stone. Dr. Stone goes into real life science mixed in with real life chemicals, and trying to navigate in a world that's gone back into the Stone Age, and the idea of what we call for minus technology, while the main character in Sengoku looks into it and it's like, what is what is science, and bringing back real science and trying to recreate technology in the modern world, what she formerly known as. You go using chemicals and real scientific methods, real idea of gunpowder, the idea of making cars go, as well as making chemicals, as well as sleeping agents, explosives, and finding a way to turn people from stone to flesh, various other aspects. This anime was very controversial because some of the chemicals and everything else kids were actually trying to do, these true science. This anime is great because it gets people into wanting to go into science and really going into more technology. This anime is really well built of trying to, the moral dilemma: do we bring back everybody regardless of what they've done, or do we only bring back some people? It's the idea of different philosophies and different ideas why science is important. This leads on to my next anime of my top 10 is none other than number 8, Freerin. The idea of immortality and loss, the idea of magic in a fantasy world, the idea of that starts as elf named Freerin, who was part of a hero party that defeated the Demon King. This shows what's after a campaign, or what's after a story, and what trying to live off with immortality. To live with immortality, she goes from different place to place, collecting magic and different spells. Rather, some might find them useful, or some might find them not useful. That's all that determined. Free Ren is a great anime because it deals the idea of immortality and the problems of brutality of immortality, finding people and losing the people we love, the people who we want, while her race is slowly but surely disappearing or becoming more and more rare. She finds out she was in love with one of the heroes that she was traveling with, but he became old, then died, and it went from hero to legend to mythology to the idea that everyone looks at him as this great Arthurian hero, where he pulled a hero sword out of the stone and fought all these great monsters and stuff, as well as other members of this party. As she travels on and on, she eventually meets a person named Fern, who she didn't want to teach at first, but then was goaded into by the priest who was in her party, Cora White Mage. And she goes like, I will teach her. and goes for a new party where she meets another guy who was trained by the same person that was part of the hero party, a dwarven person, taught how to use an axe and sword. So they travel into there, fixing and finding new spells, and it ends up going into the exams where Freerun was didn't get really past, even though she was magically and she was the reason a lot of people survived. She didn't pass because the person who was in charge didn't like the idea that she's using all these useless spells and trying to waste away of what she thinks magic is. This leads on to a different anime on the top 10 is Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is goes for the devil inside and trying to go with the basics in life, whether it's something as jam on bread or having a futon. And it goes to the idea of what we find in really finding what's in our love life and finding out what we truly want in life. It goes and sure the idea of devils and the idea of devastation around this world keeps on starting getting building up higher and higher and higher. This anime goes from one action scene to the next, as well as telling a detailed story of who's really a hero and who's really a villain, even though the lines of villains and heroes are very skewed. Like there's a character who's the angel devil who looks like an angel, but actually a devil and wants to see humanity in pain and misery. You have cool characters like Power, who's all jumpity and all energetic and all devastation thing, and he helps the main character Dingy helps Power out to rescue her cat, not because he likes cats, even though cats are awesome. He helps her out because she promises she will let him touch her boob. He touches the boob and find out it's not as the greatest thing if there's no love involved. This anime goes from layer to layer to layer to layer. Excellent anime for anyone must see. This anime goes into another anime that goes into this is number 6 in my top 10. This anime goes into what is truly a soul, what truly makes us in life. This anime is really well detailed. The idea of what makes there is it if can a machine have a soul? Could a human who is mostly machine, except for maybe their brain, are they truly alive, or are they truly have rights, or do they have are they truly people, or are they just tools for other people's gain? This goes for Major Kusanagi, who's part of a group of cyborgs and cyborg enhancements, which is standard in this anime. Goes to great cyberpunk vibes. Goes for a more utopian, dystopian where future where technology is king and technology is greater and greater and greater. This anime really goes into the details what truly makes us who we are. Next anime I'm going to talk to you about is my number five pick. Is my number five pick. This anime goes into the comic book superheroes, the idea of maybe having powers in a world where everyone has powers or abilities or a look, and being the only one of the few people who hasn't. This goes on the idea of this name Deku and the idea of following your dreams, the comic book idea of heroes and villains that are not so clean cut. What's a hero? What's a villain? What is truly society? Should we break it down or should we try to protect it? The idea of heroes who are trying to save the world and villains who are trying to destroy the world is not just cut and dry. There is more layers upon layers of who are these villains, who are these heroes, and what it truly means to be a hero, what truly means to be a villain. This anime goes into the idea of one of the characters, Kachkan, who seems like your standard protagonist for an anime with explosions and devastation and really brash thing and very overpowered, but he is not the main hero. The main hero is Deku, who is this simple kid who wants to do become a hero and idolizing this hero called All Might and the great heroes of the age. This leads on to the idea of what is a hero, what is a villain, what is society, how do you navigate in a society that is overpowered. This anime is a very must see, and this leads on to my number 4 anime on the list, Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is the world where there was demons and humans, slayers and things, and makes you feel for the demons after they are destroyed through tragic backstories and through how they became, how they what they gave up to be for immortality, for internal beauty, or to protect the ones they want, where they became demons, or even Nazuko, who had no choice to become a demon and turn into a demon. The idea of the main brotherly and sisterly love of Tanjiro, who's trying to take his sister and become more than themselves, and trying to take his sister and trying to turn her back. The idea he's Tanjiro doesn't really hate the demons and hate the things that he's fighting. He truly feels sorry for him, but he has to bring him down because they're hurt more and more people. The idea of what truly is a demon, what is truly is human, is thought of a lot. This anime has excellent action scenes. The two full movies they did were phenomenal. The animation style is great. I highly recommend this anime. This anime is really well built, really well told, and it was an excellent starter anime for a family friend named Naomi. This leads on to the bottom 3 of my top 10. The next one I'm going to talk about is Cowboy Bebop, a great anime that talks about the idea of of society, how it's changed. Even in the future, there's certain things that stay the same, like overgrown medical bills, over a corrupting police force, the idea of love and loss. It goes for the main character Spike Spiegel, who teams up with at the beginning this guy called Jack Black, who's a cop who switched to quit the police force because he finds the police force more and more corrupt. Spike Spiegel is trying to forget his past, have being a gangster, working with his friend Vicious, who betrayed him and tried to kill him, and multiple things. Then you have none other than Faye, who's seems money hungry and soon seems though trying to scam people. Who's they say she's Romani and she has to keep going and traveling. She can't stay in two places long. But the reason why she's after so much money is because of these rising medical bills, being in isolation for a very long time, and coming back and various other higher and higher expectations. This goes into the social commentary of medicine costs as well as corruption, as well as trying to navigate things as a bounty hunter, trying to help and bring people bad down, as the idea of animal testing. All this is aspect. I highly recommend this anime to anyone who's seen it. This leads to my number 2 anime of all time, Trigun. Trigun's a Wild West anime that goes into not necessarily in Western times, but it's more of a future in the desert. It's a lone gunman traveling from town to town, making things right. Everyone looks at him as he's some sort of disaster. He comes in there and destroys him as this evil being. You have insurance people following him, trying to figure out who Vash the Stampede is, and trying to figure out to solve the mystery of how to stop everything from getting destroyed. And you find out that Vash is just a normal guy, sort of, but you find out he's a little bit more with a gun, who's very accurate with a gun, but a pacifist, never wants to kill anyone, but he will injure and he will try to talk people out from killing each other. He uses his gun to save a town, to shoot on the hand of a big giant thing and knock it over, trying to save people, even though some of these people are trying to kill him or trying to hurt him. This anime is great for your Wild West fans, great for the dystopian future and the great journey from one end to the other. This anime is a very must see. It's a great starter anime. It's a great building up anime. This leads into my final anime of my top 10. The anime that I first started watching anime with, the anime that is to me is the apex of anime. It is a cyberpunk anime. It shows a dystopian government. This is none other than Akira. Akira starts off with Neo Tokyo after it was destroyed and rebuilt. It goes into these cops this guy trying to bring this kid out who they sent dogs. He shoots out the dogs. He shoots out the lights, and eventually it shows you how this anime pulls no punches, where he's riddled with bullets and destroyed. Then it cuts into the main character who's in gang, a biker gang, fighting another biker gang called the Clowns, where they're blowing up certain things and trying to fight off the clowns and trying to build up there. It goes eventually into more of a corrupt and idea of government this as that's using the people, as well as experimenting on their friend Tetsuo, who turned him into a psychic being who ends up with so much power that he ends up corrupted and tries to destroy everything and punish those ones he felt were doing wrong. This anime is an absolute masterpiece. This anime keeps on building and building more. And it's hard to see when you see the animation. This animation came out in 1980s. That this anime is filled with action, filled with great story, filled with building up to what is its ultimate climax with Kaneda versus Tetsuo, psychic versus normal gang person with uses a gun, and then eventually the being Akira shows up and dissolves everything. It's a really great scientific anime, really great cyberpunk anime, great future and political anime. This anime is really superior above all else, in my opinion. Thank you. Now here's Mr. Pat on his manga top 10.
Here we're doing top 10. So I'm doing order, so don't worry about that. The first one I chose out of my new list is The Medalist. And I like this one because it's really sports, not so much with me, but the whole idea of someone, the underdog, and slowly getting better and better, and then having a few hiccups. It's a really good moving story. Um, On to the second one. I chose Blue Exorcist. This one I really like. It's still ongoing. It's the whole idea that the demon child is like um, Satan's son is wants to be an exorcist and purge his dad. That's a really good story. So number 3, this one will come familiar to you guys. It's Soul Level. I like this one. This one's actually really done complete. I think there's a little bit more of the story. I haven't quite finished it. But the whole protagonist kind of starting from really low in the dumps and eventually making it to, you know, basically almost godhood at that point. But he's not OP right away. It's really a tough road for him. Okay, so number 4, I chose Mushoku Tensei. I like this one because it's a flawed character. This is a isekai. Not many people like a flawed character, but it adds a lot more depth to the story of this character. I really like this one. It's, you know, guys, reincarnated. He doesn't ever want to go back. When he's tempted to, someone asks him if another reincarnated wants to ask him to go back, and he says, no, I like my life right here. It's a really good story, and like I said, a lot of sensitive material, but I like the flawed hero. Okay, so on to number 5. This is another one that I've told about, Battle Angel. I love this one. It's a dystopia character that has amnesia, but is almost full cyborg. It's like the only thing that's existing that's human is her brain. Everything else is done cybernetic. And in the other story of there's like, really long volumes in this story, and it's huge. There's like another whole arc of Battle Angel. There's like 3 different books with a lot of volumes each, but I like it. It's a really good story. Next one, a little bit different note. Skip a Beat. I like this one because I like the idea of this actress, and then it's kind of a rom-com, but it's not completely there. She's wants to pay back for her ex-boyfriend by, that was initially what her deal was, but she finds out later on she really does love acting. So that's a good overall story there. So next, number 7, Darwin Games. I like this one. This is not quite Last Man Standing, but they develop a clan and people have a combat system and points. And the main hero initially is accidentally pulled into this game and almost gets killed right off the bat. It's a really good story. It has a lot of and by the way, it is complete, but I like it because the overall arcs kind of makes sense in the story. So number 8, Kamiya Kill. I like this one because it's just like there is no plot armor. People die left, right, center. The main hero doesn't quite die, but he gets a pretty gnarly ending, and all the bad guys, get their upcomings. But in the road of the whole ordeal, it's really, really messy. It just yeah. So watch out for that one. The number 9 is D. Gray Man. I like this one. It's kind of semi-religious, mystery story, and they're kind of exorcists too in this one. They have artifacts that help them fight this guy called the Millennium Earl that is essentially the main villain of the story. It's a really good one. I like this one. And number 10, and this still holds to my heart because it's an emotional roller coaster, is Fruit Basket. This one is really good. I recommend this one. But trust me, it goes all over the place. Sometimes it's really, has some good comedy, and then all of a sudden it just drags you down with, people's story. It's a really good story. So that's it of my top 10.
Welcome to the show where anime dreams come alive. Let's go! All American Otaku vibe, diving deep into the anime tide. From the screen to the page, we're turning every stage. All American Otaku, where worlds collide. From the 90s till now, the passion's been real. Anime and manga, it's how we feel. Conventions and scenes, cooking up dreams. Japanese culture bursting at the seams. On the line is till now, the passion's been real. Anime and manga, it's how we feel. Conventions and scenes, cooking up dreams. Japanese culture bursting at the seams. All American Otaku feel the vibe, diving deep into the anime tide. From the screen to the page, we're turning every stage. All American Otaku, genre, let's take that ride. From action to drama, it's all here. Community strong, let's make it